What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV. We said in the last video, the Tottenham update, that we were going to bring you the player tributes have been coming in. There has been a few notable absentees that haven't posted as of yet, which I'm sure will come. But let's get into the player tributes, which I found really interesting and heartwarming, to be honest, because I think this is the first time a manager's left where it's just so quickly, so many players have jumped on the bandwagon. Probably since Pochettino, because I think it did happen under Poch, didn't it? And now it's happened again under Ange Postecoglou, which shows you where the players' heads are at right now. And yeah, if I bring this up, so first up, we got Kevin Danso, who said, "Thank you for everything, Gaffer. We've accomplished something special. Wishing you nothing but the best for the future." And, Kevin Danso just coming in January, and there was actually something really interesting with Danso as well, because if I go right to the top here, there was this comment here that was left underneath the post, and it says, "I feel so deflated at the moment after Ange is gone, in a way, because he is the best manager I've seen in years, along with Poch, and won us a trophy, and it's harsh, and hope everyone protests Levy so much to get him out the club." And Danso is like that.
That is telling, I think, more so about the fact that it's showing dissent towards the ownership, and he's like that message. That, I think, shows maybe the kind of psyche or what the players are thinking in that dressing room, which is quite a worry if that is allowed to build investors, growing sentiment against the owners of the club, which we know, by the way. Romero said in December things about against the owners, how he actually went in quite a bit of detail, how every club around us seemed to reinvest in the transfer market, all that kind of stuff, and we don't. We sign young players and we never kick on. And that's obviously, I'm sure, him saying that in I think it was a radio interview in Argentina. If he's saying that, I'm sure that's, again, sentiment he's not alone in that in the dressing room. And so if Danso's liking a post like that, that tells me he's probably not the only one in the dressing room that feels that way as well.
100%.
And that is got to be a concern if you're part of the hierarchy, that you've just sat the manager and you're going to bring a new manager and you're going to ask these players to basically give their all for this new manager. But you got to be worried that demand doesn't fall on deaf ears. Now, I know a lot of fans will say they're employees of the club, they play for Tottenham, they don't play for Ange, and that it shouldn't matter. And I think part of that's obviously true. You get Tottenham are paying him a wage, not Ange, and they should play it. But football's a very specific sport. It's all about festering these relationships on the pitch, relationships off the pitch. That's how you build a successful team. It's all
But they want to be part of something. They want to be part of something good. They want to be moving forward, and they obviously felt that was the case under Ange Postecoglou. And they've seen the history of this football club, sacking managers year in, year out, ownership not getting stuff right. They've seen, Danso's coming into this dressing room when there's obviously that feeling that's there already with Romero,
for him.
with Romero and with other people. Like, he's literally only coming in January, and he's already liking tweets about against the ownership. So, I mean, and he's come in here with an obligation to buy on a loan on the back of being in a Postecoglou team. Like, would he? We don't even know if he would have signed here if it wasn't for Postecoglou. And then he's finally got the obligation. It's been met, and a few days later, Ange is gone
after winning a trophy. So he's come in. Danzo's come in. I know the league forms you bad, but he's come in for 6 months. They've won a trophy. There's been a parade, 200,000 fans in the streets. He's like, okay, life couldn't have been better. And then they've sat in the manager. He's like, what the hell's going on? That's probably how he's feeling. And now he's really getting to know what Tottenham's all about, I think. So, yeah, look, the fact that he's liking a tweet like that, or an Instagram post, whatever it was, that has got to be a bit of a concern if you're part of the hierarchy, about how deep that sentiment is within the dressing room.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's move on. So the next one was Lucas Bergvall. So Lucas Bergvall said, "Thank you for everything you have done for me. Thank you for bringing this club a European trophy and memories that will last a lifetime. For us and every Spurs fan around the world, wishing you all the best."
Yeah, nice words from. And again, he says he's not the only one who's made the sentiment. Obviously, he's brought a lot of these players to this football club, and we know that Ange had a lot of big conversations with a lot of these players right before signing. A lot of these people reference the message, the conversations they've had, and obviously Bergkamp himself, he's obviously kicked on so much this season, coming from Sweden, and so he probably feels like, I know he had offers from Barcelona as well, so it's not like he was screwed if he didn't come to Tottenham, but he probably feels like this guy really believed like I was going to be, he like believed, he put me in the team, and he's made me, a star in the Premier League now, and he must be sad to, not want to carry that on.
Yeah, absolutely. And you don't know as a kid, however well you did in your first year, you need to kind of prove it to another manager now. Because he's not, like, whatever you want to say, he's still a kid, right? He's not an established player as of yet, as much as we like to think of him like that. And he was the first name on the team sheet of us for a lot of this season, but he's only ever done that under one manager in the Premier League. Like, he needs to prove himself all again to Frank.
Yeah.
Next up is Mickey van der Ven. So Van der Ven said, "Thank you for everything. Believed in me from the first day I arrived at the club. Many ups and downs in the last 2 years, but you kept believing in us, kept pushing us. Big part of the success from the club this year. I'm forever grateful that you made me part of it. All the best."
Yeah. See, another player who talks about, how he believed in him, like he was, because he brought him to Tottenham, and obviously he got him from Wolfsburg, spent quite a lot of money on him when he first came, and now he's considered one of the best centre backs in Europe on his day, and I'm sure that's believes he's got a lot to thank for Ange. But it's interesting, because people always can say, "Oh, Ange is the reason Van der Ven's getting injured," all this kind of stuff, but if Ange doesn't seem to hold it against him, so Van der Ven doesn't seem to hold it against him.
Yeah, very true. And he became an established Premier League star and European star under Ange Postecoglou. So I wouldn't expect any different, to be honest. So that's Mickey. Solanke says, "Thank you for bringing me to this wonderful club. Thank you for bringing us a wonderful trophy. Won't ever forget the convo we had before I signed, and we achieved the dream. All the best in your next adventure."
See how many of these guys mention the talks before and how what he says to them. So many of them, and obviously Solanke was convinced to leave Bournemouth. Big money, came to Tottenham. Yeah, it's a great message.
The next one is from Richarlison. Richarlison says, "Mister, massive thanks for helping me out and believing in me during one of the trickiest periods of my career and my life. Everyone who loves Spurs will remember that. Big Ange always bags trophies in his second season. We've made history. Cheers and good luck on your journey. I'll always be rooting for you." It's quite unbelievable. It's quite unbelievable, all this love that's pouring out from him, from this squad, how low we finished in the league. It's just mad.
Yeah, and also I think one's also quite interesting to know is everyone has kind of something personal to say about him. You know what I mean? A lot of the goodbye messages you see, from other people when managers get sacked is very just like thank you and good luck in the future. But every player seems to have something very personal to say about Ange, what he's done for them, how he's connected with them, and stuff like that. And we know Richie was going through a hard time last season and this season, not physically and mentally. He's been on record, and clearly he's really appreciated Ange's help on that.
Yeah. This one is from Vicario, and it says, "Boss, I just want to say a massive thank you for everything you have done for me and all of us. From the very first call, right from the beginning, you always showed so much belief in me, giving me the opportunity to be part of the leadership group. Those moments and many others will stay with me forever. You are not only a top manager, you are an incredible person to work for, a real leader, a mentor, and someone I'll always look up to. What we achieved together will stay in the history books. Wishing you nothing but success, and I know you will go on to achieve more and more. Thank you, boss. Forever grateful, Vic."
That is an unbelievable message.
Yeah,
that's an incredible message, and that's that really, honestly, that's very touching message from him. And he said, "You're a top manager." He's like trying to reinforce that. Everyone calling him all these different things, but we all know they think he's like an incredible person, real leader, mentor, that kind of stuff. But saying a top manager as well, maybe trying to send a message to the hierarchy there. Look, you're sacking a very good manager now. Like, this isn't just a good talker; he's a top manager. That's what he is. And again, another guy who references the first call they had with him.
Going through these messages because I just like them. I haven't read them. I wanted to read them the first time on video, and it's just like it's just really getting me, man. Like I just can't believe it. I can't believe. First of all, I can't believe like how Ange out I was, and now how much of a mistake I think this is sacking the manager. Now reading all these messages just reinforces my belief as of now of what a mistake we've made here.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gutted. I'm gutted for them, these players as well. It's just so frustrating that they just had to have a little bit of faith in what we were doing, the hierarchy, in terms of just allowing for reason in terms of why it was the league season. This season was so bad, and even in that season, we come out with success. And they just couldn't overlook it. They just couldn't overlook it, which is fair as well. I can understand it, but it's just I think it's the wrong decision.
Pedro Porro says, "Thank you for everything, boss, for mentoring me early on, helping me settle into the club, and trusting me out on the pitch. I'll always be grateful for the way you led us, defended us, and kept us going through all the highs and the lows. Above everything, you gave us one of the greatest moments in the club's history, and for that, you'll always be celebrated. Wishing you all the very best, boss," with a white heart emoji.
Yeah, another person.
It's all about belief and trust and leadership, and it just shows like how much they believed in the manager and how they just wanted to be led by him as well, and how much of a good leader he actually was.
It's interesting. He says how you got me settled because he was here for 6 months before Ange, so you'd have thought he would have been settled before, but maybe he wasn't.
He was getting laid into, wasn't he?
Yeah. Kind of implies he didn't feel so settled in those first 6 months, but another again, they're very, very personal messages, very like unique each one in terms of their relationship with Ange.
All the same vibe though, aren't they?
Yeah, 100%.
Who's after Pedro Porro? So after Porro, we have got, what's this? That's not a player message. This one, which I found really interesting, from Brian Hill. Brian Hill barely played under Ange, and he said, "Our time was short, but you were the greatest I've ever played for at Spurs. Thank you, boss."
Which is interesting words. There's no need for him to say that. I mean, who has he played for under Spurs? Conte, Nuno, Stilini, Mason.
Yeah.
So he's saying he's better than Conte.
Yeah, unbelievable.
But for a player, as you say, who's played so little, who maybe at times we were saying, I mean, at times last season, I think they were saying, "Oh, give him a chance," all this kind of stuff, and he wasn't getting chances and whatever. But he did get a few.
The Etihad, didn't he?
He started the Etihad. I think he started at home to Villa, if I remember. Anyway, he didn't start many games. But for him to say that, I mean, again, that plays into what I was saying, I think, a few days ago about a lot of the players who you think, like Basuma, who've been left out a lot and whatever, they're a lot of the ones who are also been speaking high praise of him, and Basuma's leading the chants and stuff like that. And Brian Hill's coming out saying this kind of stuff when he was being left out a lot. So it goes to show he was able to fester even like a good relationship with players who are being left out.
Yeah, unbelievable. But I think that is all the players that have come out as of now. I do expect other players to come out as well over the next 24 hours or so. No Romero, no Son, no Maddison. So you do expect, I fully expect some message from Maddison and Romero and Sonny, surely.
Yeah. Maybe. Look, could be tomorrow, could be later tonight. Well, maybe not tonight, it's a bit late, but we'll see. We'll see if they say anything. I don't know what you could take if they don't. They're not obligated to say anything, but I guess it would make more sense if they did. You would have thought, especially with the talk of Romero and how close he was with Ange and stuff like that, he would say something. But also, they're part of the leadership group, and I guess Vicario was as well. I'm trying to think from a club perspective. They're not going to want them to say anything too scathing, I guess, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. But that is the way the players have been reacting to Ange Postecoglou being sacked, and I think it's very telling, man. It's very telling. and we'll have to see how this kind of has a domino effect on who wants to leave and how pre-season goes and when the manager comes in and how everyone buys into that. But it's a story that is unfolding right now. So that is it from us. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.